Y'all like the last time that I told you about 10 Mac apps you probably hadn't used before. Well, today, I've got some new ones for you. First up, Quiet Reader. The best way to tell you what it is to just show you. I'm going to click on this article from The Verge. I'm going to press Shift-Command-E and check it out. That article strips itself of the ads, all of the mess, and just shows it to me on this very attractive background. I can go up and down the article with my up and down arrows or my mouse, and as soon as I'm selected on a section, the rest fades out. It gets out of the way so that I can focus on the specific section I'm reading. It's really nice. Now, you might be wondering, Quinn, how is this any different from Safari Reader Mode? Well, I think it's different in a couple ways. For one, I think it's more attractive. Inside of Quiet Reader, you can change a lot of the settings. The text style, the font size, line height, spacing. It improves readability. Safari Reader is fairly limited in that regard. The other thing I like about Quiet Reader is, check it out, there's still a lot of mess here in the Safari Reader. I've got my desktop, I've got distractions, I've got other apps. Quiet Reader opens it specifically in its own quiet place. The last reason I like it over Safari Reader Mode is that it works anywhere. Check this out. I'm going to open up Craft. This is where I write my scripts. I'm going to select all this text from my AirPods Pro 2 review. Same command, Shift-Command-E, and now it opens up that text just as it did the Safari article inside of this nice, quiet environment where I can read and focus on the text without any distractions. It's free, it's awesome, it's Quiet Reader. Our next app is one that is a few years old now, but it's one that I don't think a lot of people know about, and that's a shame because it is awesome. It's called HotKey. If you run a lot of applications like me, you'll probably find yourself using the Command Tab function, wherein you can cycle through your applications. The problem is the more apps you have open and the more daunting they become, the more work it is to get to the app that you want, especially ones that you use with frequency. HotKey allows you to set a hotkey for an app. Now, you can actually do this inside of system preferences, but what I like about HotKey specifically is that it gives you a nice overlay of when you do that. So you can set up any hotkey you want. I have Control-Option being held down as my default, and then 1, 2, or 3 for Safari, my email client, or Tweetbot. So I hit Control-Option 1, and Tweetbot opens. Safari. Control-Option 2, that's my email. Control-Option 3, that's Tweetbot. Now, here's what's cool. I'm going to quit Tweetbot, and I'm going to do Control-Option 3 again. It opens right back up. If the app is not running, it opens it in the background for you. It's simple, but it works. It is HotKey. Here's the TLDW. Atlas VPN is one of the best deals on the market with a huge discount right now. Get 3 years for just $1.99 a month with a 30-day money-back guarantee. Atlas was created in 2019, and it's one of the fastest growing VPNs on the market with more than 6 million users. Let's be honest here. One of the primary reasons most people use a VPN is to bypass region-locked streaming. But as streamers get more sophisticated at blocking rerouted traffic, finding a VPN that actually works for streaming has become more tricky. Atlas has worked for me with international Netflix, BBC iPlayer, HBO Max, Hulu, Amazon Prime, and even blacked out MLB TV games, which I've yet to see another VPN achieve. I found its speed to be quite good, averaging 70 to 80 megabits per second worldwide. Of course, you can utilize VPNs for other purposes, like obtaining cheaper flights, hotels, online deals, and more. You can search the web with no-log tracking, and Atlas will even block ads, trackers, and malware. Your subscription protects an unlimited number of devices, and if for whatever reason you're unhappy, they have a 30-day money-back guarantee. Try Atlas VPN today using my link below and get a huge discount on a 3-year subscription for just $1.99 per month. I'm your average Joe. I'm just typing. I want to write an email or a Word document. I'm going to grab this text over here because it's from a website or somewhere. Plagiarism's cool. It's not, actually. Don't do that. But, from other locations, you go to paste the text and, oh no, it hasn't respected the formatting of this document. It's huge. It's Comic Sans. Now I've got to go select the whole thing. And what was my original typeface? It's not even visible. No, I don't want the whole thing to become... This is a mess, and a lot of people deal with this every day. Now, inside of macOS, there is actually a way to paste text without the formatting attached. It is, are you ready? Shift-Option-Command-V. If you do that command, it will paste text without formatting, but who wants to do that? If you are like me or most people who seldom want to paste with formatting, then you need this. It's called Pure Paste. All you do, it runs in your menu bar, you press automatically clear formatting, and check it out. I'm just going to Command-C, Command-V, No formatting attached. It inverts the behavior. Now, that's not to say that I can't ever paste with formatting. All I have to do is select the text. I press Option once, and then I press Command-C just as normal. I press Command-V. There's no finger acrobatics required. It's one key press and another command. It just works really, really, really great. This is pure paste. And in theory, that's all it does. But in practice, it actually does a lot more. If I open the Preferences pane, we can go over to Extras. There's a thing called Remove Tracking Parameters from URLs. Have you ever noticed when you paste a URL that it's just like super long and crazy, or it has an affiliate code or a reference link? This gets rid of that. It strips the whole thing. Or a short link. What if it's youtube.be or something else and it goes through 7 different redirects until it actually gets to the destination link? This does that for you. You copy it, it does everything in the background and goes, this is the base URL, so that and the next time you open it, it just opens instantly. There's no affiliate tracking. It just does that. That's just a part of Pure Paste. Why? I don't know, but it's great. And I like Pure Paste. It's fantastic. It's free. Next up, MenubarX. In short, this is just a web browser for your menu bar. I have this little Instagram icon up here. If I click it, it's going to open my Instagram feed. I can watch stories. I can scroll through. It is effectively Instagram because it is viewing the Instagram.com website from an iOS user agent. It thinks that I am on a smartphone. Same with Amazon. I keep this one up here to very quickly track my deliveries, see when stuff is coming without having to go to the big Amazon website on my computer. MenubarX lets you do a bunch of different things. You can even add files inside of this OneDrive window. So I'm going to detach the window. I've got an STL here. I'm going to drag it in there. That is like the OneDrive app, but this is not the OneDrive app. It's just inside my web browser. It's really quite handy. MenubarX allows you to do basically anything as if you were inside of a web browser. If I open a new tab, there's a bunch of bookmarks and video websites and games that it suggests you can play. Look, here's 2048 online. Now I'm playing with my computer. I'm playing with the keyboard. And this is great. It's just a web browser inside your menu bar. But what you can do is you can change the user agent. What are you viewing this from? Is it from a mobile device? Is it from the desktop? What's your window size? Are you on an iPhone SE? Do you want a big, huge iPad mini for 2048 to take up your whole desktop? The world is your oyster. It's really quite cool, and you can choose the behavior of whether or not it refreshes and what have you. This is a freemium app. So if you want multiple windows like I have, you do have to pay for it, and it's pretty inexpensive. But if you don't want to pay for it, you can use the free version, which allows you to have one single tab, and then as soon as you're done with this tab and you want to go back home, well, then you just go back home. You push Command-O, and nope, that's not it. Hold on. You push Shift-Command-H, and it takes you back to the homepage, and you can open the next web app as if it were nothing. It's very simple, but it works quite well. It's MenubarX. I really like using picture-in-picture mode on my Mac to be able to right-click a video and say, go over to the corner and just do your own thing while I keep doing my work is something that I like doing. The problem with picture-in-picture mode is that when you get super into doing other stuff, you lose track of the original tab that you opened this video in. And unfortunately, there are no playback controls inside of the picture-in-picture window. So you have two options. Either go hunting back for that Safari tab, which sometimes you're not even in the web browser anymore, or hit this button, it reopens Safari and then puts it back, but then you're like, no, and you've got to re-enable picture-in-picture. It sucks. They need to add MIDI controls, and so exists Pippo. If I open up Pippo, it is the cutest little app. I can go back to picture-in-picture mode, and now check it out. I have two buttons that allow me to go forwards and backwards 15 seconds. It works anytime and from anywhere I want in any media player. What's really cool is how they work. You would think that this is some kind of app that's always running in the background, but no, it actually uses Apple shortcuts. So if I go into the configuration here, I can open up shortcuts. Here's Pippo forward 15. I can right-click that, open it up, and I can enter the parameters. So I can say go forward by 10 seconds or by a minute or however many variables I want. It doesn't matter. Pippo lets me do whatever I want. It adds media controls to picture-in-picture, and it is so, so great and makes picture-in-picture not suck. Apple, you should just fix it. It's like, come on. People don't even know this is there. It's good. Use it. Next. You're shopping around the web, or you find something that you want to download, and they say, hey, guy, give us your email. And you're like, well, I don't really want to give you my email. Inside of macOS, there is the way to hide your email using iCloud Plus. It creates a fake, phony little iCloud email that redirects to your real inbox, but that's still going to your real inbox. Now, we can go in and disable this and delete this email later, but it's a pain. I just don't ever want it to get into my real inbox. So you can do what most people do, and that's create a temporary email address using a website like TempMail. The problem with those is that those don't generally save. There's no way to view multiple emails at the same time. There is a very good app that lets you do all of this for free, and it's called TempBox. This is an email address client for these weirdo emails that are just designed to receive garbage. So I'm going to generate a new address here, random address, but you can choose the prefix if you want. I'm going to say create. It creates my credentials, my address, my password, and it saves them locally through the mail service, which is MailTM. I'm going to copy this email address. I'm going to go into here. I'm going to paste it. I'm going to press submit. And sure, you can give me marketing emails. I don't care. I'm never actually going to look at them. And now, once the address or once the website's ready to rumble, this is a slow website. It wants my post code. I'm going to give them a phony one, 97011. I think that's in Oregon somewhere. I don't know. And there we go. I'm going to press complete checkout and check it out. Almost instantly, I get an email inside of TempBox with a link to my download. I can press download, and I can either open it in TempBox itself, or I can open it in my main browser. And now I paste the link, and ready to rumble. My file is downloading without me having to do a thing. You can make multiple addresses. You can have several. You can delete them and close them or save them at any time. If you want to have a record of everything you've done, the download link 7 months later, you can still access it right through here. It's really handy. It's TempBox. It's free. I've got a slogan for this next app. Take the world's simplest notes app and make it even simpler. It's called Notes SE, and the reality is that it's actually not a very good notes app. There's no OCR. It's not searchable. There's no organization. There's no text markup or formatting, nothing. All it is raw text inside of a little window. Why I like it is because it is bloody fast, and it syncs to all of my devices over iCloud, and I do mean all my devices, my Mac, my iPhone, my iPad, even Apple Watch. It is basically text edit in the cloud. It keeps track of my notes. I can open them up with the keyboard. I don't ever have to touch my mouse. I can start a new note. I go in here, and there you go. I know with 100% assurance that when I open up my iPhone, this note will be there. The question becomes, okay, well then what's really the application? Because Apple Notes is good, Craft is good. We have a lot of stuff in a lot of different apps. And we have the tendency to lose stuff. Have you ever screenshotted something? Have you ever sent yourself an email or a text message to remind you of something? You're not going to remember it. What I've been using Notes SE for is just to open it up really fast and brain dump something that I can't deal with right now. I type a couple sentences or something that I need to remember, and I leave it there. When I come back on any device, doesn't matter where, I open up Notes SE, I know it will be there, and then I can take that little string of information and put it into the respective actionable app, be that a task in Notion, or be that a little reminder that I have to set up for myself, be that a message that I want to send to a friend. Notes SE handles that. It is the perfect app to just go in, do your thing, and leave, because it is faster than any app I've ever used. It just works, and it's not complicated. You can only type, and that's it. There are just about a billion applications that work as world clocks. I don't use any of them because you can just Google, what time is it in New York? And it'll tell you. But where this app, Hovrly, is really, really, really cool for me is that you can keep certain time zones persistent in your menu bar. So if I click New York, it will go up there in my menu bar with NY telling me what time it is in New York. This is really handy if you work for a company that has a global office or multiple global offices and you need to know what time is it where they are again. Where it gets even cooler though, and this is my favorite feature, is that there's this little scrubber here. Right now it's 1:30 in Utah, which means that in Honolulu it's 9:30 a.m. But what time is it going to be in Honolulu when it's 3:57 a.m. here in Utah? Well, it'll be 11:57. It's great because you can just drag this to wherever you want. Oh, I've got a meeting at 5:30. What time should I tell them? Okay, 5:40. And they're in Kyiv, so it's 2:30 a.m. Well, that's pretty early. I don't think they'll want to do that. It's super simple. It works really easy. It's Hovrly, and it's free. What more could you want? What is a Mac if not for apps? Most apps you probably download these days are through the Mac App Store. And the great thing about the Mac App Store is it has a built-in updater that works really, really well. But if you're like me, you still download a lot of apps from the web. And the process for updating these apps is usually quite frustrating. You open up the app, it says, hey, you've got a new version. Do you want to download the new version? And you say, yeah. And then it goes and downloads. And then it quits the app. And then it says, hey, I need your admin password so I can install this app. And then you enter it. And then it opens. It's a whole song and dance. And you've got to do that for every app that needs to be updated. Latest is not novel in this regard. It's just an app updater. It might not be the only free one, but I like it because it's light and it works really well. I think it's 7 megabytes. I mean, how could it be smaller and more streamlined than this? Ina is an app that I know 100% for sure that I have downloaded from the web. If I press the download button, it's going to tell me, okay, go download all the ones that you've updated in the App Store. But it also starts downloading Ina and Luminar and a bunch of apps that I have installed from the web that have updates. And not only does it update them for me completely in the background, but it even tells me what's new in the changelog. It's fantastic. It works really well. It is latest, and it gets you the latest versions of your apps. Our last app is a lot of fun, and it's really cool. Text-to-image applications using AI neural net processing, they're all the rage right now. DALL-E is, of course, the headliner, the one that everyone talks about, but there's Midjourney, Glide, and many, many others. Released just a couple weeks ago is one called Stable Diffusion. What it does is it takes a model of trained data that's just 4 gigabytes, and it does all of that processing locally on your computer. It doesn't contact the cloud. It doesn't search the web for images. You can do it offline without Wi-Fi or any internet connection. And there's an app called DiffusionBee that takes the Stable Diffusion framework and makes it into a nice, friendly GUI. So I can enter my prompt here. I'm going to say Macintosh computer on top of skyscraper. And I can go into some styles here. Let's say I want it to be a delicate and intricate, and I want it to be 2D, and I want it to be made of, I don't know, beautiful lighting. I then can press the options button, which allows me to set parameters. How many images do I want it to generate? What do I want the size of those images to be? What's the stepping and the batch sizing? You can get really nerdy with this, but what ultimately happens is you press generate. It will really tax your Mac, especially Apple Silicon computers, but it will, in a number of minutes, generate a wholly unique image on your computer using AI without ever contacting the web. And some of the results are actually quite fantastic. Look at just a few of these that I've made. Is it as good as DALL-E? Maybe not, but it runs on your Mac. How cool is that? Well, folks, that's all from me. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you found some apps that you're like and that you're going to use. Maybe leave some comments down below of some apps that you think I should check out. But most importantly, and as always, stay snazzy.